You're going to be joined by Pedro Jardim, the CEO of Anitya, and he's going to be talking to Diego Borgo from Borgo Labs. They're going to be discussing the future of the immersive web. So give them a hand.
Test. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our talk. Super nice to see you all here. Let's figure out how that works here. It's all good. So, Diego, I'm super glad that you made it here. And to everybody, we're super excited to talk about the state of XR. We're going to go a bit beyond that, but this is for the next slides. I wanted to ask you something. If you learned something last week, how much do you think you remember of that? Raise your hands if you think you remember 20% or more. So, actually, when you learn something in traditional methods, you will forget up to 80% after just 1 week. But if you learn that through an immersive way, you can remember the same information up to 80% after a whole year. And the market is changing a lot. So over the last years, you've been seeing a lot of new hardware coming from Vision Pro to the Quest. And this year we have had some really exciting announcements from Snap and also from Meta. And with the development of this hardware, you have a change to the software. The software picks up after that. And the immersive space is not just the hardware and the software for XR. I think we're going to touch this in a much broader sense, also including Web3. And with that, I would like to give the word to you, Diego.
Thanks, Pedro. Hey, everyone. Before we get started, because we already start cracking on, we're just going to introduce ourselves. So who the fuck is this guy with the pink beanie on? I have been executive advisory for companies like Adidas, Prada, Salesforce, Unilever, Porsche, and a bunch of others trying to figure out what's happening with the internet, right? Where are we going? What are we doing? Is that about XR? Is that about AI? Is that about Web3, blockchain? There's a lot of stuff that very few people understand, and we as technologists are really bad at communicating. So that's one thing that I've been focusing on the last 4 years of my life, is really bringing those brands into those new industries and shaping, customer experience and how we can better serve them online.
And over the last 3 years of my life, I mean, I've started a few companies before, but I've been focusing on making it really accessible for anybody that doesn't know how to code to build immersive experiences out of a browser. So we've built an engine that runs straight out of your browser, and you can build immersive experiences. Right now, we are very much have use cases in training and learning, but it is very flexible.
So now we're going to introduce you our thesis of how the internet is evolving. But before we get there, I want to ask you, by show of hands, who here is really strongly bullish that AI is the new frontier and AI is the new thing? Raise your hands, please. Half room? Who here thinks that XR, AR, VR, immersive experiences is really where the next version of the internet is heading? Okay, a little bit less than AI. And who here thinks about blockchain? Is blockchain the next big thing? There's like 4 hands up. Well, the news is that I don't think it's an either or scenario. I think we can bring them all together. And if you look at this graphic, which I absolutely love, is the evolution of the internet based in 3 separate things, right? You got the interface going from desktop, browser, mobile, and XR. You've got the logic going from programs, websites, apps, and AI. And then you got the data going from LAN, servers, cloud, and now blockchain. So the thesis we're presenting is that there is an evolution where the stack of different technologies is what's going to bring new and better experience for everyone digitally. And if you want to start looking into how that potential ecosystem can look like, you see in this chart, you got the interface on top. You've got enriched experiences on the left through VR, AR, haptics, generative AI, 3D scanning. And then you have the ownership on the other side, which connects to digital assets, to digital identity, to digital currencies, and all of that having blockchain as the backbone. Then the applications for that is training, education, commerce, entertaining, factory, automation, and many others. But we'll be touching 3 of them today, just to give you a little bit of a picture of what's happening and what's going to happen next.
Yes, and so basically, if you learn with immersive technologies, especially in dangerous tasks, you have 80% more confidence on doing those tasks instead of 0% if you learn it in the traditional way. So for dangerous tasks is very important. For corporate training, you can learn 4 times faster, and you have 40% more confidence as well, even for soft skills. And in e-commerce, you have 4 times more engagement and average time spending on the application instead of going to a website. And here, just touching a bit about where this transition, I think we are in a transition of 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional thinking in the layer of the internet. And this impacts for real-world simulations, for collaboration, for accessibility, and industry. And also, you can enhance engagement, you can adapt based on real data, and you can get a lot of feedback because you can record everything. And obviously, you also have a platform where you can have global collaboration. So we're going to now touch upon some use cases on learning. So the first one is like Vodafone has done an immersive learning training, and 91% of the people wanted more, and 93% of them recommended. And VR learning has boost performance up to 75%, and the success rate is 11 using immersive learning. The students can learn 20% better and also 30% faster, and that is also very impactful. When we talk about corporate learning, we have soft skills training. You can also increase your confidence up to almost 300% when you are doing soft skills in an immersive way. So it's really important. For instance, you are training on a presentation like we're doing now, and you can simulate that. And also, there's super interesting use case on UPS where they cut the training by 75%. So you get the training that was happening in 8 hours now happens in 2 hours. And also for medical training, it's super important. So the VR improves the knowledge like around 28% and skills by 23%. So and also the satisfaction compared to the traditional methods. And now we're going to go on e-commerce.
Yeah, we dump a lot of stats on you there. So instead of just saying things, we also wanted you to show how this future of the internet looks like when it comes to immersive experience and the beauty of the new beautiful internet that we're building. So I just want to bring you a little bit into that experience and see how you feel. Now that is a much better way to shop digitally than the classic PLPs, PDPs, 2D pictures you have without models that we currently have on the internet. So I'm really excited about that. I consulted a company called Journey before that is behind this experience, which is they build virtual try-ons, right? And what they have seen with Sephora and L'Oreal is that they had 50% less returns with AR try-on, meaning you're not just selling more products, but you're also saving money because less people are returning your products. IKEA, of course, a lot of you have already probably used that application where you can try on different furnitures within your house, and they have shown already 2.3x, right? So 2.3 more conversion in a room visualizer. And Amazon has been also playing a lot with that, with AR and try-on and different things. So I'm not talking about goggles. I'm not talking about glasses. I'm literally talking about virtual try-ons, or talking about in-browser experience. So it's really exciting to start exploring that. Now there's a whole different dynamic as well that's happening on Roblox. So when you start looking into e-commerce virtual shopping experience, right? Nike with 6 million plus visits, 3 times more engagement on their Roblox shop versus their virtual store. You start looking at Gucci as well on Roblox with 40% more traffic being boosted to the main site. So you can definitely build that funnel on which you're having people at Roblox, but then you can drive down to the actual website where people can buy stuff from. Walmart as well. I mean, can you imagine a brand that will be more boring to be on Roblox than a retailer like supermarket like Walmart, right? But there is the power of storytelling. There's ways for them on which they can bring their brand and customers along. And they're seeing, 27% more time spending on the immersive alleys compared to what is being spent on retail. If you start looking also in that sort of like shopper-centric commerce, which is a lot about the personalized commerce that we've been chasing for a very long time. Shopify AI, where you can personalize the product that you actually are interested into buying, then put that on inside of your house or in the real world and start seeing how that's going to feel, has displayed that, a rise in 29% in satisfaction with the personalized product. Alibaba obviously taking over in China and in Asia. Around that element of like AR mall, right? So 17% higher average on spend in store through that type of technology. That's another project that Journey has done with H&M, where 42%, they got a 42% boost on add to the cart rates, So one of the things that I was seeing while I was spending time with them is that customers are spending 15 minutes on average within those experiences, and more than spending more time with your brand, they're buying more because they're adding more to the cart. So there is a desire for people to have experience like the ones you just have seen from Ralph Lauren, and I think that's why it's really exciting on what's happening. And here we get back to that, right? The beginning, the thesis, the start of the conversation. So if this is what's happening as an evolution, is the stack of technology just rather than a standalone or just one technology versus the other, which we see a lot in our industry, then what's going to happen next? What's going to happen in 2025? And if we can sort of like push ourselves to the future, that's what Pedro and I have in mind that you guys should keep an eye on.
Exactly. So we're gonna start with AR technology. I think this year you probably follow. I mean, I was happy to see in the conference many people already wearing the Ray-Ban from Meta and filming things. But also you have the Orion that have been announced. Snap Spectacles also announced this year. So a lot happening there. But when you talk about computer vision and robotics as well, you have several announcements around the robotics space this year, which is also contributing to that. And besides that, you have like NVIDIA and also Siemens that are doing very much with the digital twinning and also the industrial part of that space. Besides that, we also have the AI. I think AI support is something that is coming really big, and obviously we already can see, and we have projections for the AI market to go over $244 billion by 2025. It might even surpass that. And customer service AI, we see that as a very, very big thing because it really is able to customer service is already building layers, right? So in AI, you can already work with all those layers, and then at some point you can escalate for a human if you have a problem. So it's a really nice starting use case. And also the blockchain authenticity. I think blockchain is a very important element for AI because AI already allows you to make very easily deepfake information. And so blockchain, we think, is going to become a very, very cornerstone where you are able to know that an information is actually real and that comes from somebody that is saying that is sending that to you. And then
we go into crypto payments, right? Because I know there is a lot of confusion around blockchain. I am really deep in that industry, and I know there's a lot of empty promises. So to spare all of that, I want to anchor us to something extremely concrete. That is not what's going to happen. There is not the potential what's going to happen. It's about what's happening right now. what you can already see is that there are predictions that the whole market of cryptocurrency is going to grow to 64 plus billion by 2029. But again, that's the future. What's happening right now is that there's a big forecast of 2.7 billion by 2030 as well when it comes to the payment processing. And also adoption is expected to surpass 8% by 2025. And all of those elements are coming on the back of what I'm sure everyone is seeing right now, that ETFs are coming out for Bitcoin, ETFs are coming out for Ethereum and different assets. And the most important thing of all of that, apart by the fact that Bitcoin just hit $90,000, is that this is bringing regulation to the space, to the Wild West, a space that everybody's doing whatever they do, people are shooting from the hip. And now there's regulation coming in to really bring that to the next level. And that's happening through ETFs, BlackRock obviously stepping in. And their ETF attract 1 billion in a week when they first launched. They just surpassed the volume of gold being traded in I think was in 8 weeks compared to all time. So it's really developing, and BlackRock's being in the forefront of that. ETFs are obviously boosting the market liquidity, meaning there's more money coming in and those digital assets are becoming more liquid. But also, if you look on the other side, right, the more the SaaS side of things, the more the infrastructure side of things, PayPal, Revolut, Stripe, they're all getting on and going after stablecoins. So how they can save money on transactions, how they can be faster, how they can be more secure. So all of them are betting big on it. Revolut, obviously, a company I love, really close to my heart, big fan, has been offering zero fee trading for cryptocurrency in over 175 assets. So more people are able to get exposure to the market. And Stripe just brought Bridge, which is 1 billion plus acquisition, the biggest ever that has happened in our industry. So you can really see aggressive moves coming into that. And all we wanted to say is that now that you really understand more about the size of the opportunity that Pedro and I have been working a lot in the industry and seeing for ourselves as well. The call to action is join us and let's build the future of the internet. Let's get together because it depends on much more than just one of us.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. If you want to connect with us, there we go. That's our LinkedIn.
Thanks so much, everybody.